Turkey is situated in Anatolia and the Balkans, bordering the Black Sea between Bulgaria and Georgia, and bordering the Aegean Sea and the Mediterranean Sea between Greece and Syria.
Do you know much about the First World War? The main reasons are colonization and sources, oil sources, and industrial revolution for countries. So countries like France, Spain, Great Britain, they had colonies. So it was a big support for their economy. But the country, Germany, they didn't have such any colony. So they were searching a way for coming out of the bad economy. And Second World War will follow after the big defeat of
Yeah.
First World War for German side.
Yeah, it's revenge.
In the first is Turks were neutral, but they couldn't stay neutral for a long time because Turkish Empire called Ottomans, Ottomans called as sick man, die, but when and how to share the inherited. So there was a big share happened between the Western countries and started in the second half of the 19th century, and result was the First World War. And Turkey couldn't stay neutral longer, and they had to take two battleships built in Germany.
Oh.
Instead, two battleships built in Great Britain. Turks paid for the two ships, but never brought to Turkey. Excuse was conditions of war. Great Britain didn't want to give. And two battleships were fighting from Great Britain forces. Two battleships belonged to Germans, and Germans asked help, support from Turks around Gallipoli, and Turks decided to open the mined area in the water and save them. Then they flanked Turkish flags to those two ships. They became Turkish ships, but still the mariners were German. They were Germans. They took some Turkish soldiers as well, and they left Istanbul port for patrolling in Black Sea, but nobody knew that with a secret order they start bombardment against Sevastopol and Odessa, two harbors belong to Russia, and Turkey started to be in war.
Oh.
About 200,000 people died from diseases here. Unfortunately, they had unhygienic toilets, no toilets here at all, and trenches. Trenches were becomes like riverbeds during the winter time, and carried a lot of dead man's body. And they're passing in front of you with a flood. It was a big flood.
What time is this with this battle?
Battle had two winters, one summer in 1915. Started at 1915 March, 1915 February, until 1916 December. About that. You see soldiers from France, from Great Britain, they are all dressed different colors. Usually French soldiers were in blue color. You can see here. You can see the German soldiers on the left. Right. There's an original photo taken from Turkish side. One private here with the camel. Original photo. And the commanders, generals. Turkish generals watching
these kinds of cap.
Yes,
Before.
very interesting cap. They are watching the land with their binoculars and watching the war from high hill. This is Chunik Bear Hill, overlooking to Sula Bay. This is the Sula Bay, the flat area. They are one of the highest hill. I'm gonna take you there. Hieron comes from the word hero. Some important names of heroic stories about Pergamon during the battles. There are some monuments built and dedicated for these heroes that played a big role in heroic stories, actually, in the history. Pergamon kingdom was a free kingdom for a long time in Hellenistic period, which means 4th century, 3rd century BC until 133 BC. It was inherited to Roman Empire by Eumenes II, who was the king of Pergamon. Pergamon kings were quite famous men, characters in the history. Some of them are called Eumenes first and the second. The other one Attalos first, second, and Attalos the third. The Pamukkale city, we are gonna visit Hierapolis, which was a thermal spa center. Thermal waters have been running for centuries. It was the thermal center for Roman period also, which was established by Attalos, the emperor of the king of Pergamon.
I don't know. Yeah, Pergamon.
And another city, very touristic and important in Turkey, in the south. We are not gonna visit, but important, should mention about it. Antalya is a very big source of tourists. 7-8 million tourists a year visited Antalya. It's on the coastline. Very beautiful area. Pine trees is meeting with palm trees and ocean, Mediterranean coast. Amazing place. And according to the story, Attalos, the king of Pergamon, wanted his soldiers, bring me the heaven, the paradise to me. And they found a winter residence for him. Many of the buildings, they were constructed of local stone. We call it andesite. Andesite, andesite. It's very solid stone. Usually pinkish color, like a little light red color, like an earth color, a little bit brownish red. And they could cut it very flat. You see, Roman period buildings, very flat. They chiseled with iron tools. And this complex in front of us, it was a complex of mansions for the prince, crown prince, and the brothers. So it was a kind of palace, also called Palace of the Kings. Pergamon crown princes had residences here. It was a temporary residence for
What if
them.
they were hiding here for 2 months?
Yeah.
Then people died in the 2 months.
Yeah, they had to bury it and get rid of the flesh, the corpse in the underground city. But there's not any identified so far. I know, maybe there are a few, but I don't know any tomb here, any grave here. But you will see some graves, tombs with skeletons, especially in the Göreme open-air museum churches and chapels, because of the monks. They died there and they buried inside the churches, which is a tradition.
Do people sleep in the cold
No, those holes are containers. The liquids. Containers for liquids.
Do people normally just sleep on the ground with the
They
straw
sleep
beds?
on the ground. Remember, the house type tombs in Pamukkale, the Hierapolis. There was like a big saddle, big sofa like, and people lie down on the sofa.
Oh yeah.
There are similar sofas they could make here with the pillows of straws. You see, this area was the common area, the hall, common hall, because there's a main road, main street comes, we follow, and it goes through tunnel. So it was a common area here. There is not such a dwelling around, only food storage, because they shared the food and the liquids, water, wine, in the common areas. We are gonna follow a tunnel, short tunnel. I hope you don't feel very claustrophobic, but mind your head. It's very, very low,
Okay.
low ceiling. Okay, mind your
By
head.
the way, what are those round stuff for? Those holes?
They are for terracotta jugs, amphora containers.
Like 你们如果在
The
听他说
pottery
话，你
jars.
们就知道。
Pottery jars.
Okay.
They had pointed. They had uneven pointed bottom. That's the reason. And I can show you that you can easily see some animals that they had here and tie with the rope for animals. You can easily see. They had lambs, goats, you know, and even donkeys. But big animals stayed in the stall, in the stable, in first entrance level, first level. But we are
So
here
we
in
are
storage
here-
rooms, minus one floor, and they also had a kitchen and they consumed meat. Maybe they had some animals to eat, so they could slaughter the animals here in this area to eat because they were starving for a long time, and they tied the lamb, goats here to be slaughtered probably.
Okay.
You
Do
go
people
down.
know where are their toilets?
Toilets, usually there were some corners, the bottom, the dead end streets or tunnels goes to the corner side of the dwellings, and they had some flat terracotta, again clay dishes, and they had a lot of dust from the ashes that they chiseled, and they covered with the dust and kept them in a container in a big jug and closed the lid, closed with the lid, and then carry it outside in certain days.
I see.
And also the urine, probably the urine went to the similar jugs and closed the top.
Okay, I see.
Otherwise it could be a mess in 2 months.
Yeah.
Very messy. Oh yeah. And stink. We go. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. Welcome to my office. My new office. My old office was in Hagia Sophia, but I moved in Izmir. I take about 100-day tours in Ephesus every year. It could be my 873rd tour in Ephesus. Ephesus is a big city, has 2 gates. This is the original upper gate. It was called Magnesia Gate. Magnesia was the name of the city close by here. We are gonna pass near tomorrow on the way to Pamukkale. Another gate of the city, as we are walking straight through the city Ephesus towards the south gate, harbor area, harbor gate, the ships, the boats, docks. Ephesus city itself has a population about 50,000-60,000 in the city, and established between 2 hills, like a valley. 1 hill on the right side, 1 hill on the left side. And we are gonna follow the path through the main street of the city downwards. And we are in State Agora. The Agora means kind of a marketplace and socializing place for aristocrats and free people. You can see this area with few fountains. The largest fountain is here on the left. You see there is a long wall with a bench in the front. It was quite comfortable. Sit with cold water on the back. In summertime, it gets terribly hot here. And they could refresh themselves with giving the water throughout the city. Always the fresh water came through cities. You can see original pipelines and also bringing the water at that time to the city upper gate bath. You see 3 arches there. Upper gate Magnesia bath. City had a kind of tradition accepting the visitors, especially the traders who came through Ephesus from faraway countries. It was required from him taking a bath first. In case of any diseases could break out in the city, the foreigners they were asked having a bath before staying in city. This could be the 8th wonder of the world.
It's wonder of the world. This is
The
natural.
big promotion about travel Turkey from Russia is Pamukkale.
Yeah.
And thermal water.
I think it is for every place.
Don't go that much.
Even for Chinese,
Yes.
this is a very big promoter.
No, the security has a whistle and can beep from somewhere.
We cannot go down here.
No,
They are not
you
allowed.
can go like following the people. There is a beautiful path down there.
Okay.
You will go there bare feet.
Oh, okay.
Let's go.
But we cannot jump from here.
No, because this area is still changing the color. It's not ready to walk on yet.
Oh, okay.
Why? Well, I hear a whistle. Like, why is it not ready to walk on?
Because when you don't give the water, the calcium color turns dark immediately. So the
Oh.
water comes from only 2 springs and not enough for touching all the space. So it makes if the water doesn't touch any certain surface, it makes it turning dark.
How about
So
this?
there is a water program. They change the direction of the road of the water every day
Oh,
in a month,
So-
monthly.
okay.
There was a big fortune telling here because Apollo the god,
There's a god
was
of
also
oracle.
Apollo the god was also had a very vast culture and belief in Hierapolis. There is Apollo temple also in here.
Yeah, probably here. You know, we visited Delphi a few years ago.
I know.
And then
Apollo.
they have this temple, Apollo temple, and the priest there, they can tell what the future of
Yes.
the people who are the Christian.
Yes.
And it was said there are some funny gas, I think sulfur gas, come from underground, so that when they breathe in those gas, those priests got dizzy, and they kind of lose half of their conscience,
Yes.
so that they can tell the fortune.
Yeah, you can drink and say the same thing, similar things to
Yeah.
people and being an oracle.
You just
Become an
say it vaguely. You don't tell exactly.
Very close to my hometown here near Ephesus. There is another Apollo temple and fortune-telling oracle center.
Oh.
There were 2 centers, one Delphi and one Didyma. Didymoi is a word, Greek word, which means twins. You know, Apollo and Artemis were twins.
Yeah.
Didymoi. Didyma word comes from there.
So this is
was
Apollo
the,
temple.
Yes.
Wow.
Actually, Apollo temple was here on the right side. This is Plutonium. One.
Oh, okay.
Plutonium and Apollo temple.
Oh, so this is Apollo.
Yeah.
This is better preserved. This is plutonium.
It had a roof, smaller. Apollo temple was bigger.
Pluto is a god for the deceased, isn't it?
I saw, yeah. There was these smaller stones, you see, another Troy 2, second strata, and we are thinking there was another residence here for the king or city ruler from 2200 BC. 2200 BC from Troy 2.
Was every layer of Troy the same size, or did they expand?
No. How much earlier Troy you go, Troy gets that much less populated and smaller.
Like as in the physical size of
Physical,
the city.
yes. For example, here, we are almost in the center of Troy, Trojan excavation area of Troy. We are in the middle, and these are, you see the wall here cut each other from Troy number 1.
Okay, this is
2500 BC. So it was pretty small in the center, but every Troy was built, it became bigger, 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 bigger. But Troy 9 was not the largest, but I can say second largest, because Troy 8 was bigger than that.
It looks like 500 kilo.
This might be the end of this journey, but more journeys are coming.